Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another plant video. We are talking Hoyas today. We're talking Hoyas for beginners, unique, easy Hoyas that I think beginners would be really happy with if you bought them. I'm going to be rating them on accessibility, so based on easier to find to harder to find here in the States. I am so excited, so much so that we're just gonna go ahead and get right into the video because there's no time to waste. So the first Hoya here is actually a biggie. I adore obavatas. Obavatas are the best. They're the best. I love obavatas so much. They teach you a lot about Hoyas. They teach you about how to water them because this is actually a Hoya that is sort of like on the medium side of succulent, to where it's not so succulent that you can immediately tell when it needs to be watered, but it's also not so floppy that you can't use the taco test to tell when to water it. This is the Hoya obovata. It is a really fast, easy grower. And again, I feel like it teaches you so much about Hoyas. In my opinion, this is one of the plants that I think beginners should start off with. Like really, if you haven't had chances or haven't had any luck with Hoya, try an obovata. Obovatas are pretty easy. They have unique blooms. They're sort of like this powdery pink color. So adorable. The shape of the leaves are so awesome. This is actually a Hoya that tends to come out with really funky looking leaves. It's honestly something that you don't have to worry about. It's not harming the plant. Some people say that it's nutrient deficiency. Some people say that it's just a change in environment. It is really just such an easy plant, and I think that every Hoya head needs to have an obovata. Like 100,000%. You need an obovata if you don't have one already. But yeah, that's the first plant that I'm going to talk about. The next plant is actually ever so slightly harder to find, but I really love it. It is actually a recent purchase of mine, and I'm so surprised that more people don't talk about this plant. This is a Hoya NeoKhaledannika. I got this from Gardino's, and Gardino's often restocks this along with the rest of their Hoya restocks, but this plant is actually not one that's going to break the budget in my opinion. It has gotten so just pretty and shiny, and the leaves are like these really pretty heart shapes, and they have like a couple of splashes here and there. It's just such a fun Hoya. I love this one so much. Its growth pattern is just like adorable, and the leaves are just so like succulent and pretty. I think the shininess of this plant is really what catches my heart a lot, but this Hoya NeoKhaledannika is super quick. I got this probably a month and a half ago. I will link the unboxing to it here so you know exactly how long it was and exactly how big this plant was. It was just a few leaves, and now it's definitely a monster. I love her. I love her so much, and I just really think that people need to talk about it more. But yeah, this is my second Hoya that I think that you guys should find. Again, I would say that Gardino's is your best bet, but like I said, it is a pretty quick grower, so I don't feel like it should be as difficult to access as other Hoyas that I'm going to talk about. And if you are in the market for a veiny Hoya and you don't 100% love the NeoKhaledannika, or you can't find the NeoKhaledannika, I think Hoya Fitchy are seriously like some of the most unique Hoya that you can find. I think that the little veins on this beautiful little baby plant is just so 110% worth of the hunt, and I see them actually for sale pretty often on Facebook groups. I see them for sale pretty often, I think because it's pretty easy to root and it's pretty easy to grow. They're just super rewarding. The flowers, once again, are very unique. They don't look exactly like the rest of them. I didn't talk about the Hoya NeoKhaledannika flowers, but those flowers are actually yellow. I don't feel like they're super difficult to find, and they're not going to blow your budget, so I do think that this little baby is definitely worth your money. And the next plant is actually one that I don't talk about too much on my channel. I got this plant from a friend, but if you live here in Houston, Hoya cummingianas, which is what this plant is often found at another place in time. If you want any cool, unique Hoyas for good prices, I would definitely recommend going there. And again, this is one that just grows like a weed. As you can tell, it looks absolutely nothing like the rest of the Hoyas that I showed. Its growth pattern is super cool because of how like close together the leaves are. I really like how much it grows, and because it grows like a weed, I think that's it's relatively easy to find out there. I find Hoya cummingianas on Etsy every now and then, and they aren't ridiculous amounts of money. I really do think that you guys should invest in one because they're adorable, it's unique, it's fun, it's easy, and it grows like crazy. So definitely recommend this one. And then the fifth plant that I have here is my Hoyamirabilis. I know Hoyamirabilis aren't easy to find right now. It's actually kind of difficult. I actually know that Hoya How on his new Facebook page called Hoya Haven BST, you should definitely check it out. I'll leave the link down in the comments down below and in the description for you guys to join. I love Hoya How. He's one of my favorite Hoya sellers. He has such reasonably priced plants. They are so great. They're always super healthy and so just like, I love him. He's such a nice person too. Hoya How actually did do a purge the other day and he had multiple mirabilises in there and they were not ridiculously expensive. Hopefully when COVID is over, you might be able to import this guy, but I think that she is so worth it right now. I would not pay more than $50 for this plant, but it is just such a cute little baby plant. Oh, holy cannoli. It's velvety. It has very unique, narrow, sort of ribbly leaves, and it has splashes all over it, and on top of all of those unique factors, it has a beautiful minty green flower. I am really hopeful that it comes out the color that I'm expecting because I actually have a peduncle right here. This peduncle is actually one of the most unique peduncles that I have ever had on any of my Hoyas. It has such a long stalk. The stalk pretty much reaches past where the pot is, but the leaves themselves are just the cutest little things. Basically, if you want a rare plant and you're really looking for something different that looks unlike any other Hoya and that you kind of want to splurge a little bit on, I would actually recommend buying a Hoyamirabilis because they're just so worth it. They're so worth it. I got this plant as a gift and I could not be happier with the fact that I got this as a gift because it's just such an awesome plant. And again, I don't feel like I hear too many people talk about it. But yeah, that's this plant. I always kind of throw in a couple of extra plants, even though this is a top 5, just for like honorable mentions. I always talk about my Hoya Mathilde on this channel. Like, always talk about it. I'm so surprised that the plant has not bloomed yet, but this plant is so awesome. It is such a cute little Carnosa cross variety. The only reason why I didn't put it in my top 5 is because hybrids of Carnosas to me aren't necessarily the most unique thing ever. I feel like if you are going to be collecting Hoyas, I don't think a lot of people say this because people are so like consumed in the fact that having a rare plant and a variegated plant are synonymous. Hoyas aren't like that. Do not go out and try to find variegated Hoyas. And I know that's crazy. I talked about it in my plants that I will not buy video. I'm kind of over the variegated hype, and I think I have Hoyas to blame for that because there are just so many different kinds of varieties of Hoyas out there. So many different kinds, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of varieties that crosses are actually much more fun to collect, and like just different species types are more fun to collect in my opinion than trying to seek out a rare plant that's variegated. I think that you would be a lot happier with having more Hoyas and like different kinds of Hoyas that look very different as opposed to having the same kind of Hoya just in different variegated varieties. That really seems like a philodendron and like aroid mindset. Like you want a variegated anthurium or a variegated like frydek because alocasias all kind of look pretty similar. Philodendrons all kind of look pretty similar, and anthuriums all look kind of similar. So you really try to find like the diamond and the dust and try to find a plant that looks absolutely nothing like it, and that's where variegation comes into play, and that's why people get so excited about it. But with Hoyas, Hoyas all look different. They all look different. Every single plant in this video today has looked completely different from one another. And I just really think that you would be a lot happier with trying to find different kinds of varieties of Hoyas as opposed to trying to find like splashy versions and variegated versions. those I think you should reserve to when you've already collected a lot of them and you feel like you can get the care down, you feel like you want something different. That's when I think you would prefer to find and look for variegated and splashy species. So yeah, that's pretty much my spiel on that. And this is my Hoya Mathilde that I adore and love. It is typically found in the splashy state, so please don't let somebody sell this to you and call it a splash when it's this amount of splashy, because this is not a splash. This is pretty much just how a Mathilde looks. So yeah, that's this guy. And then the last plant that I'm going to talk about is a plant that could be found at most big box stores. I am talking a Hoya SPF Burtonii, species Affinity Burtonii. This is sort of like the plant that taught me what SP and AFF means, and it has also taught me a lot about like the nomenclature and like the naming of different kinds of Hoyas because of its super confusing background. So I would definitely recommend that you go and check that out and check out sort of the naming behind it. And once again, this is a very different looking Hoya. The texture of the leaves are super cool. It burns red. Whenever it gets a lot of light, it gets red, and it's just so stunning and gorgeous and amazing. I adore it. And it flowers like crazy, and the flowers are very unique to the rest of the Hoyas that I had here to show you. So yeah, that's actually going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and check out some more videos of mine. And if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you like me or you like plant videos, go ahead and subscribe if you want to. It definitely helps out my channel. But that's going to be it for today's video. Definitely comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know of other different kinds of Hoya varieties that you think that beginners should start off with. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!